Good morning and welcome to Saturday special of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. This Saturday, interestingly, last day of the month and last day of the year. The years are changing. The old is gone. The new has to be welcomed. How do we welcome it? Past year was year of dejection, war, pandemic, economically exhausting, hyperinflation, recession. But is the new dawn going to be there, going to be any better? Hope so. All changes for the good. So send salutations to the new phase of life. Ring out the old year, ring in the new. I remember an Urdu poet, Abdul Hamid Adan. He said, गुजरते वक़्त का एहसास है पर दिल नहीं उदास है क्योंकि इल्म अदम सफ़र फरदा के लिए आस है. I know time is gliding by, but I'm not sad because I know Adam. I hope for tomorrow's journey. And the last line sums it up. Hope for a tomorrow that's on the anvil. So hope sustains life. And as we bid adieu to the new year, the old year, and welcome to the new year, that hope sustains human life. This is the time when all human beings have a set of mixed and rather contradictory feelings. Hopeful joy to welcome the new, and a tinge of sadness for the year that will soon be a part of the past. We feel a tad sad, a bit sad, when the year is ending because all of us have established some kind of a familiar rapport with this season. So when the new is on the horizon, we have joy, and at the same time a touch of apprehension. Apprehension about what the new year is going to be. Would the war be over? Would the worries of economy be over? Would the worries of the disease and the climate change be over? But then I'm reminded then the Turkish saying, Tera main ole sobe bina. Tomorrow is always better than today and yesterday. It sure is. And if tomorrow is going to be better than today and yesterday, then we can hope that 2023 would be a better year. The human doesn't want to break a set trend. That's the unfortunate part. But until that set and the fixed partiality is broken, you cannot progress. It's like the way farming is. A piece of land is plowed, and before sowing, by the time we reach the fag of the year, the soil of our existing is ready for the new experience. If you don't sow, how would you reap? So, what we call new is not new really. We say new is coming. It's a recycling part of the time. It's a cyclical evolution. Today's new is yesterday's past or tomorrow's past, yes. It's new today, but not after 1 hour. And Walt Whitman was very right when he said, new is often a drop of dew. As the dew evaporates as soon as the first ray of the sun comes, the new becomes old in the twinkle of an eye. So who knew 365 days back that year 2022 would be no better than 2021? So today's new is tomorrow's past. And the drop of the dew which is new is no longer there. So, what to do? And then, I remember a Persian word which explains it beautifully. Nakish. Nakish means sending salutation to the new phase. It's a mystic word. And that's why the mystics dance and sing when a mortal dies. When a fellow mystic leaves this mortal world, they don't feel sad. They are sending salutations to the new phase. Death is no end, so the death of the year is no end, but a conduit to paving the way for a new life, a new phase, a new entity. The year 2022 will soon merge into the ocean of time, and a new year will be on us. And that too will be consigned to the bin of the past by the time then around next year. Because every new beginning comes from the ending of something. So there is a Zen saying, who says time goes? Time stays, we go. Time is not going, we are going. We are always on the go, always on the move. Let's make the best of the ongoing time for a better and finer tomorrow. And conquer with Mirza Ghalib, Ishite Gadra Dar Dareye Mipafana, as a drop of the water is destroyed in the river. Be like that. The significance of a drop of water is no longer there when it merges with the river. Similarly, when pain becomes unbearable, it turns into a remedy. As a matter of fact, we often perceive wrong. And now, when the new year comes, it's a time to make a list of to-do things. There are solutions. Meaningless. This time I'm going to tell you something different. Make a list. But do not make a list to do things. Make a list of what not to do. And I'm not talking about politics. I'm not talking of the scientists and others. No, I'm talking to you as human beings. New experiences should be there. And the best thing is decide what not to do. You have been told right from the day you were born, do this, do that. I'll tell you, let the new year be. And there should be three major things you should do. The first would be, do not overemphasize your past. Second, do not compare yourself with others. Third, you will not take emotion-driven decisions. Question arises, why not overemphasize the past? Well, simply because the past is gone. Past is gone with the wind. So why overemphasize? It's like the Persian saying, Pidram Sultan Booth. Our ancestors were the sultans and the kings. What difference does it make? What are you? So, there is no undo button in life. Past is gone. Don't think of that. I've seen people glued to the past so firmly that they are unable to celebrate the present. So don't think of the past, think of the present and the future. Life has to be joyful. And all our past mistakes are the drivers of destiny. We choose to either focus on the joy element of today or keep revisiting the past mistakes. Decide for yourself. Joy versus past deliberations are mutually exclusive and cannot be acceptable. Acceptable at least simultaneously. So those who live in the past and ignore their present and the future get submerged in a cloud of negativity and sorrow. And hence, my suggestion to you, don't overemphasize the past. I know some of you would argue because every happening of the past may not necessarily be sad. But you have to develop a fruitful habit of convincing yourself to ignore the past and be futuristic, or rather be present-minded. Second resolution should be, you shall never compare yourself with others. Very important. Comparison breeds jealousy, heartburn, heart attack, neurosis, everything. All comparisons kill joy. It's a human nature to measure achievements on a yardstick of someone else's success. The yardstick should be you, not others. And here are a few illustrations. It took me significant 5 years to achieve my doctorate. The other fellow got it in just 3 years. I'm just thinking he must be more or better researcher than I am. I cannot buy a new car. My neighbor gets a new car every 2 years. Frustration results. I cannot go to a short picnic while my friends are traveling worldwide. Heartburn, disappointment. So if you've got to benchmark any aspect of your life, do it with your present circumstances. And you would see it'd be fun to try a bigger line for yourself than to keep staring in disgust as a line drawn by the other. So don't emphasize the past and don't compare. The third resolution you should have will not take emotion driven decisions. You know, our emotions define us as human beings. The ability to keep those emotions under tight control defines our social success. And excess engagement with unproductive emotions drains our energy. The world has been observing a steep rise in mental health issues. Honestly, being mentally unwell is the next pandemic for the earth. Save yourself right now. The vaccine is, ignore the others, ignore the past. That's it. Honestly, being mentally unwell is the next pandemic, as I told you, and you are not going to be a part of the pandemic if you follow my advice. Don't let the emotions guide you. Observing austerity in living, in thought, in action, while dealing with the emotions will make better sense. And many times people compromise on long-term gains for short-term emotional urges. You can see umpteen examples of this in your life. All emotions are not destructive, let me tell you. I'm myself very emotional. But all I mean to convey is think twice before taking an emotional call. Who knows? There may be a better way out of that problem that you're facing. So you may have wanted to get something different and path-breaking ideas for the new year. No. You might be thinking, I'll tell you, I'll accomplish this, I'll do that, this is my list, and after 1 week, you forget it. No. As you prepare to say goodbye to the year 2022, it may be essential to take a peek at the many ways in which different cultures have faced the death of a loved one. This is the death of the old year. I take it as the death of the old year and the birth of an infant new year. So what do you do when a person dies? You hold a funeral, you hold prayers, what they call wake. So let's hold a wake for 2022 and stand vigil on the lifeless body of this year, the year that brought us pain and misery, the year that caused fear. I'm not talking about church wakes. Now let me tell you, we use all night service and prayer and others. But I'm talking of vigil as a holiday. And that will give you a lot of relief. The custom of holding a wake over a corpse may have started as a Celtic tradition, predating Christianity. But later the body was watched over in case it was snatched by the evil spirits. So let the evil spirits of greed, of aggrandizement, of terror not be there. Let the wakes be moved from residence to funeral homes. So, how can you hold a wake for the year 2022? Some of you would see this as an extension of the 2021 when traumatic experience of COVID-19 pandemic, which is still there. Others would face disabilities holding you away for the economically disaster. But you have got to have a social wake over the passing of the old year. It could be a novel way to pay tribute to the strength you've gained. The Indic scriptures talk at great length for the need to cultivate the ability to observe as a witness, sakshi bhav, be a witness to what has happened and be a hopeful spectator of what the new dawn that's going to be there. And you would see that all the vulnerabilities and weaknesses, all the highs and lows, disappointments and accomplishments were there because of the world you lived in was a world of duality. So this week over the dead year is meant to highlight the idea that loss is to be borne by the whole community. And we honor ones who suffered. We could do the same for 2022. Look forward to 2023. That may well bring new challenge as well as reason to be joyful and peaceful. As I said, tomorrow is always better than today. So with that hope, that glimmer of hope, the light at the end of the tunnel, makes 2023 something grand to look up to. And this wake of the burial of ambition, unwanted ambition of course, burial of cruelty, burial of terror, burial of narrow-mindedness, burial of sectarian attitudes, would be the dawn of the humanity. Hope so. There's no harm in hoping and wishing for that. And wish you a very, very happy new year. Let bury the past, bury the year that's dying, just going to take the last breath, and then see the emergence of a new infant new year, full of hopes, full of sunshine, sunshine of love, affection, peace, and calmness of mind. Easily livable, that's our hope. Ring out the old, ring in the new. Salutations to the new year, coming year. Thank you.